All right, let's go over some of the truck, what I'm going to do today. So after looking at this front end, after I got sheet metal on it, it's kind of derpy. So we're going to make it a little less derp. I'm going to, you know, derp like this. Oh, and maybe like this. Yeah, so we're going to eliminate some of the front derp on this here nose. So I'm going to attempt, well, it's not going to be very hard. I just got to redo this sheet metal piece. But yeah, after looking at it with the sheet metal, I think it's kind of sticking out too far. I think if we shorten it up to where that masking tape is, it'll get me closer to my fan shroud. Or fan shroud, is that a fan shroud? Radiator shroud? Whatever. Try to pull the front end up closer to the radiator shroud there and see how it looks. Kind of bummer. I made this piece and it turned out super nice. Like, fits really well. But that's alright. We'll make a new one. It's not a super complex piece. And then I'm going to make my way to the hood. I'm still figuring out logistics for this because it's going to have to either lift up or something so I can get access to the engine once this thing's all on here. And this is where the windshield's going to go to. That's the top of the windshield where that masking tape's at. So basically the entire hood is going to be the windshield panel. I got the driver's side mocked up. Last video was just time lapse of me getting this all mocked up. So once I get this hood figured out and the nose piece figured out, then I'll start reinforcing everything on the body to make this thing 100% onto this chassis. And then will come all of the detail work. And there's a ton of it, so it's looking pretty sick. We're gonna make this front end stick out a little bit less. And yeah, I think it'll look a little better. One of the hardest things was to make this side match this side. So this side was easier and more fun because it was just kind of eyeballing it and putting things where I thought looked good. But then doing this side, I had to make everything match. And that requires measurements. And one of the biggest things that has helped me is a tram gauge, basically a measuring stick with 2 points on it, and it can be easily made. But I use this tool a lot. It's a very useful tool in the auto body world if you're dealing with collisions and getting everything back into specs so that parts fit. But essentially this is how it works. So I've just been triangulating everything off of a center point. So I got my center point. Basically I just have a nut taped to the center point of the truck. And then I take this end and then I can, you know, square everything up. This is just an example, but that's how you measure everything to make sure everything's in the correct spot. So I've done that with the body and the doors and everything. It's close, you know. But if you are working on roll cage stuff, you know, you can do all sorts of points with it. Triangulate stuff, make sure things are even on both sides. But so basically I've used this tool to kind of measure where everything needs to go on this side of the truck. And yeah, so I figured I'd share this with you guys if you haven't seen one. If you're familiar with any kind of auto body work, you'll be familiar with one of those. And these have been surprisingly useful. I bought a bunch of binder clips whenever I did the headliner in one of my old cars. And they're small, lightweight, and easy to, whoop. Well, it's gotta come off anyways. Easy to use, so. Yeah, dudes. All right, now we're gonna chop the nose off of this. Later, nose. Engage time-lapse video. Alright, I wanted to show you guys how I make all the angles for the sheet metal. It's actually pretty easy. Take your angle finder. Boop. Come on. Oh, it's tight. 41.6. You just run over here to the brake. Already got this thing chucked up in there. Got your digicube. And run her up to 41.6. We can go a little over. Let's see how close we are. I think that's pretty close. Yeah, that's how I do the angles on the brake. It's pretty simple, but kind of neat. Yeah, I'd say that looks a whole lot better. Significant difference. Oh, I think I hear the baby crying. I had to get going, but anyways, that's it all clipped up on there. Yeah, dude, this thing's crazy. I think I don't know how I'm gonna do the grill yet. I might just cut slits in it, or do expanded steel. I don't know. What do you guys think? Hit me up with ideas for the grill, because I haven't really come up with anything yet. But yeah, dude, the derpness is gone. Far less derpness. But all right, gotta roll. Baby's crying. I gotta get in there. She.